the first instruments of colonization or deception. Persistent deception and manipulation. Historical revision. Near hijack of the narrative. Every leader, from the prime ministers or heads of governments of Amazonia, were manipulated. They didn't have the right to respond. They allowed the enemy to control the narrative. They hoped simply that the justness of their cause was enough to undermine the brutality and narrative of the occupier. You may not understand the role I play today because you are coming from a place of desperation and you are on the pedestal of hope. You want to see the end come as quickly as possible. My role is to keep you woke, is to constantly remind you of the sacred obligation to the men and women in jail, dead, and in the bushes, to constantly deconstruct the narrative of the enemy, expose you to the truth, historical facts, which are the most lethal weapon you will need to survive. You might lose a war. You might lose an armed resistance. But as long as you do not lose your mental liberation, you can restart the war. In the past 2 years, Cameroon has engaged in persistent and systematic narrative construction, fronting Amazonians as their mouthpiece. They look alike, you know them. They should be for you, stand for you. And so if they speak for the enemy, then there should be something they are saying we must listen to. From 1961, they fronted the Fonchas and the Munas. They recruited thousands and thousands of elites, the grandparents of some of the enablers who run havoc on our streets today. They became the middlemen and women who interceded between us and our butchers. They fed us with tales. They demonized those who spoke truth to power, who rose up and asked for something better than we are having. They became the unelected, unofficial spokespeople who represented us as slaves in the house of the slave takers. Anyone who rose up was either killed, jailed, or exported into exile. Those who resisted for a while were integrated into the system of occupation and asked to conform or face the same fate as their forebears. Most succumbed until we came to town. Our posture has been described as intransigence, extreme, brutal. They've called us all names that they could hatch as adjectives. Kidnappers. They have described us as aliens coming from a place nobody has ever been, to break our resistance, to weaken our resolve, to make us begin to question our own intellectual ability and to question an outcome which is already certain. None of them has been able to continuously articulate the fact that the suffering our people are going through is as a result of the occupation. And that the Calais that have harassed and tortured our people has not stopped. They have not realized that the IGPs created was not because we rose up in arms. And that the economic strangulation we have been through for the past 60 years has created economic IDPs, refugees, and that the mental torture, the degradation that we have been going through has made thousands upon thousands of our people to escape. And that the flight into Biafra, into Nigeria, into the United States, into Europe didn't start in the last 7 years. They have insisted through the killing of commanders, summary execution of young men, burning of homes, checkpoints of robbery and extortion, propagandists, that we will either succumb or be destroyed.